Hey everyone, welcome back to Tech Talk. Thanks for tuning in. I am here with J.M. Porup, who will be attending the RSA conference, and we're going to be talking all things RSA, what to expect, what he's looking forward to, so stick around. All right, J.M., thank you so much for coming. Per
Always
usual.
a pleasure, Julia. Thank
Always
you.
appreciate it. So, you are attending the RSA conference. When is it? What is it about? What's going to be going on? Tell me about it.
Well, sure. So RSA is one of the oldest information security conferences out there in San Francisco at the Moscone Center, March 4th through 8th. In a couple weeks, I'll be covering the event. If you've got stories, find me and talk to me.
Nice. So sometimes this is your first time going, yeah, to RSA?
I've been covering information security for a very long time, but I have, until now, not been to RSA personally. That is true.
So as a first-time RSA conference goer, what are some important tips for first-time ever conference goers?
Wear comfortable shoes.
I guess this isn't a time to break out some heels. Not the time.
If you're going to be getting in your 10,000 steps on a concrete floor in a very large convention hall, maybe no heels. Maybe. Just saying.
Makes sense. So
comfort.
Let's dive into as to what to actually expect at the conference. What are going to be some popular things to look for on the floor, and then also some exhibits, some sessions?
Sure. So there's a lot going on at RSA, and there's more than any one person could conceivably do everything or see everything. So it really depends on what you're after. As a general rule, most of the talks at RSA will be informative, but not necessarily groundbreaking. So if you're a fairly experienced security pro, your time is probably best spent networking and not sitting through too many talks. If there's particular talks or particular speakers you really want to see, make sure you reserve a seat using RSA's online scheduler, as popular talks can fill up. And if you were hoping to be in a particular talk, you should plan for that. In addition, there's the IoT Village and the ICS Village. If you're curious about OT or ICS security, there are some very smart people who will happily let you hack a virtual water treatment facility or pretend to hack the energy grid and learn something new in the process. And of course, the Innovation Sandbox is a perennially popular part of RSA as startups pitch their hopefully, but usually not, game-changing cybersecurity ideas.
Great. So are there any specific vendors or sessions that you personally are looking forward to? Anything that, in your opinion, is just a cannot miss?
Well, in terms of vendors, I'll leave buyers to make their own judgments. RSA, the conference floor, is full of pretty much every major and most minor security vendors on the planet. So if you're at RSA because you're shopping, haggle. And every organization is different, so I hesitate to call out any particular vendor. For my money, I'm particularly interested to see Bruce Schneier's Public Interest Technologist track on Thursday. The idea behind this brand new track, never before run at RSA before, is an attempt to bring security professionals to the place that lawyers are in terms of doing pro bono work. They say that 20% of the Harvard Law School graduates, 20% go into public interest law. They're public defenders, or they're working for not-for-profits, or they're giving back to society. Whereas the percentage of computer science graduates doing that kind of thing is basically zero. And that's not because programmers are somehow more money grubbing than lawyers. That does seem to be probably not true, but more a lack of opportunities. How can senior technologists with skills go to work on Capitol Hill and help shape better technology policy, or go work for Human Rights Watch and, give something back? How can larger companies support sabbaticals for senior security employees or give them 10, 20% time to do something that's not directly assisting the corporate bottom line? And also, one of the arguments Schneier's made, and I've written an article about this for CSO, is that this is also a net win for corporations because once an employee has gone off and done this kind of pro bono work, they bring that experience back into the enterprise, and that can be very valuable.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. So shifting gears a little bit, you touched on this very briefly a minute or two ago, the Innovation Sandbox. So that's going to be, how many startups? A few?
I believe there's a final short list of 10, but I could be mistaken about that. There's a pitching process that goes on for quite some time before the actual conference.
So they're going to be cybersecurity startups, yeah, and they're sort of highlighted at this conference. If you are evaluating the tech from a startup, what should you be looking for?
If you're a corporate buyer looking
Sure.
to, I would say that for most organizations today, they're still struggling to get the basics right. By and large, that's a blanket statement. And the startups today are, they're startups. They remain unproven. And they should be taken with a large grain of salt. It may be that they offer a niche solution that's a game changer for your organization, and that may well be the case. But you should do your due diligence and make sure that they can actually deliver bang for what will probably be a very high buck.
There's also, of course, a networking aspect to these conferences. If you're going as a cybersecurity professional and you're looking to network, what are some tips that you have for them?
Have enough business cards and, say your please and thank yous.
There you go. Networking 101. What you mentioned, the IoT Village and the ICS Villages. Now, this is sort of a fixture of security conferences, having the ability to hack stuff.
These are new, just a couple of years old, and they're independently organized apart from RSA. You'll find ICS Village in Vegas at DEF CON as well. And the idea is that the organizers want to raise awareness about the security issues of, for instance, ICS systems among IT security professionals who may have never touched, sort of operational equipment in a factory or a water treatment facility.
Wonderful. So there's going to be a lot going on. Looking forward to seeing your coverage of it. What can we be sure to hear from you? What kind of stuff do you think that you're going to be covering? What can our viewers look for online at CSO?
Well, there will be a fair amount of pre-RSA coverage of things that look interesting. And during the event, it really depends on what happens. There's a lot of noise and relatively low signal. And, I will do my best to try and find the nuggets in the ore, as it were.
Sure. A lot of noise, probably going to be some announcements.
Like everybody's got an announcement, but not all of it's relevant to the industry at large.
Sure. Well, if it is relevant to us, if it's relevant to our readers, we will make sure to be covering it on CSO Online. Be sure to look out for articles from JM. JM, thank you so much for your time, and good luck at RSA. Hope it's a great time.
Thank you, Julie. Yeah, will do. Cheers.
Thanks. And thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our Tech Talk channel, and we'll see you next time.